Hey everybody, this is Bradley Benner with Lead Gadget, and it is 7:30 p.m. on May 28th. This is the training webinar, week number 12. I hope everybody is having a good week, and we should be pretty excited. Hopefully the updates will finally be released tomorrow. Kind of been waiting on that, so I got a couple case studies ready in the planned for the next week if the updates go through tomorrow. I'm going to be spending some time over the weekend on that. I'm looking forward to that. I got some case study updates for what we've been following for the last several weeks. We'll kind of run through that very quickly. Not a whole lot of changes since then, but again, that's okay in anticipation for the upcoming updates and the local site builds that and that's going to be two of them that I'm going to do at the same time simultaneously. I'm not really that worried about the existing case study. That's just something we're going to continue to monitor over the next several weeks while we begin these new case studies. So anyways, if anybody has any questions, we're going to have lots of time for questions tonight. So just post them directly on the events page, and I'll answer them as we get to them, as we usually do. So I'll just run through these slides up front, and then after that, I'll jump over and answer some questions. So let me go ahead and open up these slides and grab the screen. Okay. I'm going to take the whole screen. And you guys should be seeing me now. If you're having any trouble hearing or seeing anything, and just post it on the events page, and when I go double check on that in a few minutes, I'll see what the issues are. But we should be good to go. So again, this is week 12. Don't have a lot of stuff going on. I've kind of been in hiding for the last couple weeks because I've got a lot of projects going on outside of Lead Gadget that I've been trying to get caught up on, and again, in anticipation of the ATM updates, so that when those are available, that I could spend a lot of time focusing in on creating the training videos for the local site builds. And so that's why I've been quiet in the groups, guys, but that's okay. Like I said, I wanted to kind of reserve and get back into it fresh when those updates were available. So hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more of me in the next couple weeks. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Today, all we're going to cover is the domain extension case study, just updates for that. Not a whole lot going on there currently. And then we're going to get into Q&A, and we'll take up the rest of the hour with Q&A unless we don't have enough questions, and then in which case we'll just hang it up early and get back to work. So okay, just to recap, I'd like to do this every week. The domain extension case study was where I purchased 8 domains with the same domain, but the separate extensions. Okay, these are the 8 extensions that I purchased. Then I built out 8 sites on subdomains, so it was the same subdomain as well. In other words, it was the same, the same word for the subdomain. And then I built out the 8 sites using the same content, and just had it spun properly and everything else. And then I targeted slight variations of the titles or the SEO content, the SEO or the content titles, which are essentially the meta titles. And the most important part. So each site focused on one is essentially being built out, focusing on one keyword. There's tags and LSI keywords within the content, and then there's the tags which help to for the sites to rank for various terms, not just one focused keyword. But the way that I've been building sites on a national level is with one focused keyword per site. Okay, and then I just build additional sites to target other variations of that keyword, if that makes sense. So that's the way I did it. I basically just took 8 variations of the main keyword that I wanted to rank for, and I built one site after each one, targeting each one of those variations. All right. We've been following that for the last, today's week 5. So I'm going to show you the results of week 5. Still having some indexing issues, but they are all indexing more and more. And in fact, like I said, in one of the previous webinars, the particular niche that I'm in with this case study is not a niche that I'm familiar with. It's not something that I've got a lot of experience in, but I had run a test with a partner that wanted to generate leads for this particular industry. And I basically built a site targeting one of the sub niches inside of this niche, and just kind of let the site sit. I really didn't do anything to it. It was just a test. And so I didn't spend a lot of time on it. And now we're about 12 weeks later. It's been about 3 months, and that site is getting 1,400 clicks per month. So, I mean, you do the math. That's like 42 clicks, 44 clicks per day, something like that. It's impressive, 45 clicks a day, roughly. It's impressive with how many clicks per day that's getting. So that's where, when I showed him that data about 5 weeks ago, when we started this case study, that's what gave me the idea, was to target another sub niche within that broader niche, to see if we could get the same kind of results. And you'll see in just a moment, the indexing rates are still very, very slow, but it is still indexing. And if I'm lucky enough to see the same kind of results, or at least even just similar results to what I'm seeing with the first original site, then we ought to be doing really well, because 45 clicks per day on average is damn good, in my opinion. So, and again, it was a site that I really just slapped together. So that just goes to show you that what Brian talks about with slapping these sites up and just putting them out really does. I mean, you can have some real good success rates with just slapping a site together and deploying it, getting it out there. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So what I did this time, guys, was I took this was from week 3, this image here. This is week 4. This is what we talked about last week. And this is week 5 down here. All right, so obviously next week I'll put week 6 over here. So hopefully you guys understand this. Let me just double check, make sure there's no questions coming in. I just want to make sure you guys can see me before I move on. Let's see. You guys are seeing me, correct? You should be. So what I did this time. Yep, you're seeing me, because I can hear me, so that means you can hear me. All right, so back to the presentation. Okay, so week 4, week 5, I'm sorry, week 3, week 4, week 5. We're in week 5 now, all right? And so, excuse me, this is the .website domain, and you can see that we had no change from week 3 to 4, but we had 3 more indexed URLs since last week. 3. So this site is still creeping up. It's just very, very slow. This is the .info. The .info, you can see, had from week 3 to week 4, it had about 12-page increase. And from week 4 to week 5, we had about a 13-page increase, or post-index increase. So again, just slightly more, but it's it is still creeping up, and you're going to see the same results basically for every single one of the 8 domains that we're looking at. Okay. This is the .biz. This one actually went up about, 30 posts. And guys, I'm not doing anything else to index these. The only thing that, the sites are just sitting there. The only thing that I turned on was the backlinks indexer plugin, and that's it. And I submitted sitemaps to Google, and that was it. I mean, that's what you're looking at here anyways. But other than that, I really hadn't done anything. I was thinking about maybe using the crowdsearch.me. It's still not integrated into the ATM yet. I don't know if that's going to be part of the updates or not, but I've got crowdsearch.me, which is like where I can send some traffic to these sites and see if that'll help to get it to index more. But you got to have some index pages for that to work, or else it won't work anyways. So I would have to just select some of the pages that are indexed and force some traffic into them. Okay, and so that's something that I might do if I get time, but I have a feeling I'll be tied up with these local site builds for the next few weeks anyway. So, all right, so this was .biz, like I said, very very slow, but it's still creeping up there. The .us, this one took a pretty significant jump from a few weeks ago, from 594 to 784, and then again from 784 to 1042. So we had roughly a 300 or 260 page increase, post increase, which again, that's not a lot, but it's still going in the right direction, right? All is not lost. It just means, like what Brian and Dawn talk about, is just continue building sites. Don't sit around and wait for this stuff to index. Just keep moving, right? And to be honest with you, I haven't been building sites for the last 2 weeks, really. I think I've built one site in the last 2 weeks, and that's it. And that's just because I got other stuff going on. But honestly, if I had some more time, I'd just be cranking out additional sites, if that makes sense. Just keep moving, because eventually these should start bearing fruit at some point, right? .co, same thing. This one was, look at this, 306, 307, 308. So at this rate, it's only going to take us about another 1,000 weeks for it to be fully indexed. So about another 1,000 weeks and we'll be fully indexed. Not a big deal, right? That's pretty funny. Anyways, let me keep moving. Where were we? I just skipped ahead. Sorry about that. Okay, so .org. This one looks like we went up roughly another 300 pages as well. That was the US. I must have skipped again. Sorry about that. My mouse is going crazy. Here we go. The .org. This one went up just a hair, like 9 posts, not much, which I'm actually surprised because I've got another site build on the same domain that's actually doing a lot better. It's different content. It's targeting a different sub niche, but it's the same domain. It's just on a separate subdomain. And that one's doing pretty well. So I'm just surprised that this one's not doing as well. And again, it could just be that this batch of content that I'm using isn't that good. That very well could be it. The next one's .net. Let's see. This one went up roughly 200 posts, 160 maybe. So I told you guys they're all about the same. This one barely went up at all, just a few posts. .in. And this is what I wanted to say, the .org. This one actually is doing better than what the original one is. And this site's only 3 weeks old. This was week 1, week 2, week 3, and it is indexing better. It's not huge, but it's still better than what it was, the other case study. So I'm curious if it's something to do with the content. I still got some other content ready to build out on those sites. I just haven't had time to do it. So I don't know. Like I said, this is just going to be an ongoing case study, guys. I thought this was interesting. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this every week, just enough to talk about what we're seeing, just because I find it interesting. And then if we can find some sort of data that looks like there's something that could be repeated, then you'd have to test again with another batch of, right, on another set of domains to see if you could repeat those same results. And then, then you can start to, infer whether or not there's a pattern or a trend there, right? So we'll continue talking about this as we go on over the next few weeks, but we're going to be focusing in more about the local stuff over the next several weeks because that's what everybody's been wanting. So, okay, let me make sure everyone is good. Looks like Ganti must have changed his what's up, Ganti, by the way? Hi, guys. Hi, Elizabeth. 3 minutes. Am I in the correct location? You guys should all be hearing me, I hope. Elizabeth says just yes, so I'm assuming we're good to go. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, please post them because, like I said, I really don't have a lot of updates for anything other than what this is, and I was hoping that we'd have some questions to answer tonight. Not really a whole lot that I want to go over other than that at the moment because I'm getting focused on this local site build. We can kind of recap on that, though, if you'd like. This is what I got planned out, and I've got the content already for this. I'm waiting on the first and last paragraph to come back because it's spun a little bit deeper. So I'm waiting on that to come back from one of my writers. But as soon as that's back, I'm ready to go to build these sites. First one's going to be foundation repair, and then the second one's tree service. Foundation repair is going to be a statewide build. This is a niche I'm not familiar with, so I've got to do the keyword list research on this one. So I'll probably be documenting that via YouTube video. Like I'm just going to screencast, record videos, training videos, and put it in a series. So and then we'll discuss the case study every week during the webinars, okay, and answer questions about what was done, why it was done, that sort of thing, okay. But the foundation repair, like I said, since I'm not familiar with that niche, I'm going to have to do the keyword research and everything. So I'll probably document all of that as well so that you guys can see how I go about the keyword research and determine what to target. And, then we'll set up the site and in the custom list. That's going to be interesting, building custom lists for a local site build. And I have 2 different ways that I decided I was going to do it. We talked a little bit last week. Bill Marks was on and he mentioned something about targeting street names. And then somebody posted in the group after the webinar a way to get lists of street names. You can get them from the United States Postal Service, USPS.com, I believe. And there's a couple other ways that you can get them now too that I saw some people posting about, but I thought that was interesting, and I think that might be good to try as well. I'm not sure that I'm going to test that on these two builds because I kind of already had an idea as how I was going to set up these custom lists. But we'll see. You know, there's a possibility that might we might work that in, or just do another site, a third site maybe targeting, because I'd be interested to see you know, how if those produce better results. It'd be worth testing for sure. Right, guys, test everything. You know, that's all I'm going to do. If you guys ask me, well, will this work? The only thing I'm going to do is test it. I can't test everybody's ideas, right? I can only test so many of them. There's only so many hours in the day. So I already have pretty much set how I think I'm going to build these out. You guys will see that through the case studies, because I'm going to, you know, go into great detail as to how I build these custom lists out so that we can target very, very fine, you know, with very fine detail as many keywords as we can on a site build, and in for the set location or the set geographic areas that these sites are meant to cover. All right, because like I said, with the main sites that I've been building, the national sites, it's been essentially one focus keyword per site, but that's not really efficient use of these sites on a local level, right? On a local site build level, that wouldn't really be an efficient use of the sites, because you'd have to have multiple sites to target a very small area to cover multiple keywords, which is more like a traditional site, right? Where you'd want to target multiple keywords for a local area. So I think we can do it. I have not done it yet, so it's going to be fun putting that together. A bit of a challenge, just because it's the first time. I think once we do it a couple times, once I've done it a couple times, it'll be just like anything else. It'll just be like, oh yeah, well, you know, why didn't we do that before? That sort of thing. So that's that one. That's going to be foundation repair, statewide build. I'm going to niche it, or break it down by counties and in cities and zip codes with keywords. And you'll see I'm still going to have I think it's still going to be a fairly big site. It's just going to be targeting multiple keywords for each city and zip code within the state, broken down by counties. Okay. Lastly, tree service. This is a industry that I've got a lot of experience in. I've been generating leads for the tree service business for 5 years now. So I'm real familiar with that industry. And I have a contractor that was already going to purchase the leads from me. So I'm going to go with a regional site build, just several counties within the state of Virginia. I'm going to target, and I'm going to break it down similarly to how I'm going to do with the foundation repair site. And that's how I'm going to build my custom list out on that. And so, like I said, we're going to target 2 local site builds that way, and then possibly end up doing a third, trying to target street names too, once I gather that data and everything. Okay, so we'll probably end up doing that as well. Okay, let's see. I'm in. Today is like one of my lazy days, not focused much. Okay, Ganty, great, thanks. So apparently you can't hear me. So Bradley, you need to go get your knowledge foundation on building foundation. Get your knowledge foundation on building foundations. That's true. I do. Most of my business is in the contracting industry, so it's not going to be that difficult, right? I mean, it's just like anything else. I just got to go do the keyword research, and then I'm still going to be basically talking to the same types of people when I go to monetize it, which is just dealing with contractors, which, I've got a lot of experience doing that. So it's not going to be a big deal. It's just a new industry to me. It's not something I've done in the past. So, but it's just another home improvement related type service. So not a big deal. Michael's here. Cool. Michael's been helping out with support recently. He's a good guy. Wow, light attendance today, and that's most likely my fault. I didn't post the event until today. I completely dropped the ball on that. So if you guys noticed inside of the Facebook group, I also posted for next week tonight so that you guys can get more notification about it. That's completely my fault about that, not posting this one earlier, so I apologize for that. Ganty, it's got to be you, buddy. It's the buffering is killing you. It has to be you, because I just upgraded my internet service today, and I've got 25 megabits per second upload speed, so it cannot be my end. It's got to be Either Google's screwing you guys or it's on your end. That's all I can tell you, because my end should be fine. The replay is seen to always come out okay, guys. So it's coming. It's getting to YouTube from my end just fine, or else there would be issues with the replay. So I don't know what to tell you guys. Sorry about that. But okay, guys, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and post them, because I mean we've covered what I wanted to cover, which was just the site case study stuff, and then wanted to recap what's going on with the site build, because I'm really ready to get started on this, guys. But I'm not going to sit here and just talk for the next 30 minutes for no reason. I'd rather just answer some questions if you have any. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to come up with some questions. I know there's not a lot of people here. That's fine. I did talk with Brian earlier this week, and we're hoping to have the updates tomorrow. So remember, the official launch is June 2nd, guys. That's Tuesday. So they should be done by then. I'm not committing Dawn to anything right now. So don't anybody go back and quote me and say, well, Brad said that you, because I didn't. But anyways, I think he's going to have those in the next day or two, or before Tuesday anyways. And so as soon as those come through, I'm going to start on these site builds, guys, and get that done. I want to get these done. And it's interesting because in my other business for Semantic Mastery, the coaching business, we're doing some local case studies right now too, with video SEO and ranking sites and maps, like, local maps for lead gen. So it's interesting because it's like the next several weeks are going to be all about local for me. Everything that I do is going to be about local. So it's going to be a lot of that, which is good because I'll be completely immersed in that. So Michael says, Brad will break your legs if you do that to him. That's true, Michael. Thanks, buddy. Come with a break your kneecaps. Frank Holland says, Bradley, are you making any money from the Lead Gadget CPA offers yet? No, actually none. I haven't even logged into that. Let's go take a look at that. I'm curious. Where is it? Take a look at it. I don't see any revenue earned. Nope. So, but guys, there's a lot of these sites that I haven't even really tried to do anything with. Like other than I was really just using those sites as part of the training, not something that I really cared a whole lot about. It'd be great if they made money, but if I spend some more time working on them, I probably could get them to. I'm not saying that, but no, I'm not making any money from those sites yet. I am having success with generating leads with these sites for some local businesses. I'm using just national sites, but actually I've got a couple statewide sites that I'm generating leads for some businesses. And then I'm generating a bunch of leads into my coaching business from the SEO sites. And then I've used a bunch of sites to reveal data to me that I could go back and do like more traditional SEO stuff, like more traditional site builds and video SEO. And rank, parasites or Web 2.0 properties, social media sites, that kind of thing. So I've done a lot of that recently, and that's been very, very lucrative for me because I'm able to build these national sites and identify the low-hanging fruit, and then I go back and just target with more traditional stuff and go just kick ass, and that's been very beneficial. I've got a bunch of those sites out there that I consider just research sites. But I mean, to me, I don't care what the ATM costs. That the amount of data that we can return from these sites is just insane. Stuff that it will reveal to you that you would not be able to, you wouldn't know unless you had these sites. And to me, that's almost invaluable. But like I said, with the local site builds that we're going to do over the next several weeks, that case study, I'll probably do something similar to what I'm doing with my coaching business. And that's not only will I build the sites out, but I'll get them monetized too. And I'll document how I'm getting them, how I'm monetizing them. And share that with you guys, so you guys can see like from start to finish how to actually make money from some of these sites from a local build. Remember, I haven't done any local builds yet with ATM, so this is going to be cool because you guys are going to see me learning as I go too. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we'll see that. Let's see. Tomorrow or even June 2nd is fine. I'm already getting emails from people promoting it. Oh, really? That's cool, Ganti. I haven't gotten any emails from, although I've unsubscribed from almost everybody's lists because they're too much of a damn distraction all the time. That's interesting. Michael Bo says, how many sites do you recommend people build when they first start out in the program, Bradley? Michael, I say just literally build, as you know, just a bunch of sites and just plan on a lot of your first sites being garbage, and you're going to end up going back in a few weeks and just deleting them so you can free up space on your server. But I've done a lot of that. Like I mean, I'm more comfortable building now than I was ever before, and I'm sure after another 15 or 20 builds, I'll be even more comfortable. So it's just a matter of just taking action and repeating the action to get more confident in your builds and everything else, and just just play with it. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I was paying for the ATM since August of last year, and I didn't build my first site until January of this year. And honestly, part of the reason I took decided to join the forces and help do the training for Lead Gadget was so that it would force me to learn it would force me to learn how to build sites, because I knew the power. I recognized the potential that it had, but I hadn't taken the time to learn how to use it. So I knew if I was going to be accountable to students or to other members, that I would have to take the time to learn, because if I was going to teach others, I'd have to get good at building the site. So that's exactly why I did it, really, was to be more accountable to everyone else, to force myself to learn. And so it's just a matter of doing, Michael. And that's, like I said, I mean, I don't know everything about the ATM. I know it's working for me, and I'm going to continue to try new things with it and share that with you guys for as much as I can. There's certain things that I'm not going to share with you guys because, I'm making money from them in certain areas, but for the most part, I'm going to share what I can. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Do you have any pointers for people just getting on board with the ATM? That's a good question, Michael. Yeah, just build. Don't be scared of it. Just start building. If you make a mistake, which you will, you can just press the bomb button. Another pointer I have is to pay attention to the training that's we have available already. And as the interface changes, we're going to add additional training. But guys, do not be sloppy and be fast and quick with your, and quick to submit support tickets because something's not going right until you look, put it this way. Don't submit a support ticket until you've made sure that you didn't screw up first, because, I know that there's a lot of support tickets that come in, and we go back and look and find out that there was some spelling errors or some data entry errors or things like that. And it ends up eating up a lot of our time for simple mistakes that could have been avoided by double checking your work. Okay. So just, don't rush through it. Double check it. Make sure, don't not submit support tickets. Just try to be respectful of other people's time and make sure that you're inputting your data correctly into the fields that are required to build a site. And a lot of that will probably be resolved with the new updates anyways. Okay, that's part of what Dawn's been working on, is to prevent that from happening, because you will be amazed with how often that happens. Okay. And it's just such a drain on everybody that it gets involved, and then come to find out that it's something silly that could have really been avoided with just a little bit of due diligence or double checking. So Frank says, for statewide sites, is your pack list always county, city, zip code only? Any other element? Well, yeah, for statewide sites, Frank, I've built them just like I had been the national sites, except that my categories were counties instead of states. Okay. But I would do like city only. So first list, custom list number one would be cities, city name, right? Then I would have counties, and then I would have like city plus state abbreviation, and then maybe city plus and then maybe city plus zip code or something like that. Or the last one might just be zip codes or something like that. But typically that's how I've done it. And then I use the counties as categories. And then I always set up my sites to the permalinks to display categories. So instead of my permalinks just being post name, they're category post name permalinks, right? So it's a custom permalink structure, but it's category slash post name. Okay. And so that's the closest we can get at the moment to siloing out those sites, is just by building a semi-silo structure into the URL. Okay. And that's by using the category post name. Like, I like that. That's what, that's not going to get into building silos and stuff, guys, because that's really beyond the scope of this training anyway. So, but just know that that's why I do that. Okay. Because it helps. It's logical. It makes sense. The hierarchy and the URL structure is very logical. It's good for SEO. So that's what I try to do. Like, I never put any keywords in the categories, guys. I don't. I just strictly do either county or state. That's it. Full state or county name. If I'm doing a statewide build, that's it. Because otherwise, in my opinion, you're over optimizing. If you put keyword, look, I'm not telling you what I'm doing is law, because if Brian tells you to do something else, then you just decide what you want to do. I'm not here to argue with anybody about it. I'm just telling you what I do, and that's to put just the full state name or just the county name as the categories, and that's it. Because I do not like over optimizing my URLs. Okay, and that's just from a lot of experience in SEO. I don't like to do that. But other than that, yeah, you'll see, Frank, in the upcoming local site builds, I'm going to do, like, the foundation repair site build is going to be a statewide site. And so we're going to try I'm going to try some new methods and with my pack lists, okay, my custom lists. And I'll show you what I do. Like, it'll be 100% documented, I promise, in videos, so you guys can watch them at your own leisure. And then we'll talk about them during the webinars, okay? Okay, Gadget says, I'm still on your list. Let's see. Awesome. Thanks, Ganty. Very cool. Michael says, looks for Bat to get secret info out of Bradley and what's putting Moolah in his wallet. Yeah. What is the top mistake that people make that cause the most problems in the long run that you have noticed? I'm not sure what the question is, Michael, as far as what is the top mistake people make that cause the most problems in the long run. First of all, I haven't been here for the long run yet. You know what I mean? I'm too new to be giving answers about the long run. Brian and Don would be suited for that, not me. So I really don't know, because I've really only been building sites since, January or February ish. So I don't really know. I would imagine what causes people the problems the most in the long run is just not continuing to build. I see this all the time, and not just with Lead Gadget, but with, like, students in more traditional SEO and site, more traditional site builds and stuff, guys. I see this all the time, where people build an asset or a property, right, a website or YouTube channel or whatever, and they work on a couple keyword phrases or a couple pages on their website or a couple videos if they're doing video SEO, and then they continue just working on those until they get them to rank and see results. And sometimes that might not ever happen because of various reasons, and so they never produce anything else beyond that. And that's what hangs them up and prevents them from being successful, is the fact that they take a little bit of action and then they dwell on that action while they wait for results. And sometimes you're just not going to get results, period, no matter what you do. There's a randomness about Google, guys. There's a random. Terry Kyle from SEO Traffic Hacks, he's one of the people that I respect in the SEO industry a lot, and he calls it the random ranking factor. There's just something about, that's why, like, what Brian Prin says is absolute truth. He says you just throw shit at the wall, pardon my French, throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. Just keep building sites. Just keep pumping them out and pumping them out. Don't wait around and expect anything. Like, let's go back to the case study here for a minute, guys. If I were to, look, I haven't been building a lot of sites because I got so many other damn projects going on. If I didn't have a bunch of other projects going on, I guarantee you I'd be building a hell of a lot more sites than I have been recently, okay? But what I'm saying is that like this particular case study, if I were to just stop after building 8 sites and wait for all of these to start producing results, guys, I'd be very discouraged, because these numbers are pretty depressing. And it could be, if these sites end up performing like the original site that got me to continue building in this niche to begin with, I'm 12 or 13 weeks into that other site and it's producing very, very well. So, but still, if I had just stopped at that one site and I hadn't built anything else, then you're talking about, 12 weeks of lost opportunity. What's that cost? You know what I mean? What's your opportunity cost? And so, and then again, if people don't get results that they're, if you get your hopes up too high and expect too much, without continuing to act, then you're going to get discouraged if you don't see the results. And then it's going to be kind of like a snowball effect. Then because you're discouraged, you take less action, right? So it's better to just keep to keep the momentum, right? And just keep building and just keep building and keep building. Some of them are going to be home runs. Some of them are going to be strikes. You know what I mean? Like some will be successful. Some are going to be duds. And there's just nothing you can do about that. And it's just futile to worry about it and to try to figure it out. Just continue building. So what Brian says is absolute truth. And that's just keep throwing stuff at the wall. Some of it's going to stick. The ones that stick, you go in and then you duplicate those over and over and over again so that you just dominate for those particular keywords or phrases or that industry or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So if I had to choose one, Michael, without knowing the history of the members in this group, because I haven't been here long enough, I would probably say that's going to be one of them that are probably the most common. And I'm pretty confident that I could get some some people to agree with me about that, because I see that across the board in the other areas that I do training in as well. You know what I mean? And Michael, you definitely know that. So, and I appreciate you asking these questions and drawing some of this out of me, because that's I think that's important. So, okay, well, enough soapbox preaching. Is there anything else, guys? Ganty, see you later, man. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I mean, I know we're only 35 minutes in, but it's only a couple people here, and that's partly my fault. I apologize for that again, guys. I've already scheduled for next week. Next week's the morning webinar, 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you guys can make it to that, please do. And remember, when I post the event pages early, like I did now for next week, you can post your questions right on the events page. In anticipation of the webinar. You don't have to wait until it's live to post your questions. Post them ahead of time, and I'll start at the bottom and work my way up. Okay, first come, first serve, that type of thing. Also, just guys, this is I try not to have any conflict of interest going on between Lead Gadget and my other business, Semantic Mastery. But I want to encourage you guys to come check us out at my weekly webinars that I do for Semantic Mastery. It's called Hump Day Hangouts. It's every Wednesday, and it's just straight SEO training, and it's Q&As, SEO Q&A every week from 4 p.m. until 5 p.m. Eastern time every single week. We did our 30th episode this week, and we haven't missed a single week yet. So I encourage you to come join that. If you guys want, I can drop a link in the Lead Gadget Facebook group. You guys can come check it out over there. It's a non-pitch, every now and then we'll make announcements about products and stuff like that in the beginning. But then it's just straight Q&A. It's all SEO Q&A and online marketing stuff in general, but mostly SEO stuff. And if you guys are interested in that, again, it's 100% free. We're not going to squeeze your arm or twist your arm to squeeze money out of you, that sort of thing. But be happy to have you guys come over and get involved with that, because a lot of people attend those now. We typically have around, on average, about 80 people attend every week. And so there's a lot of good questions that come in. A lot of stuff that I wouldn't have thought about unless somebody had asked. So again, I'm not pitching you on Semantic Mastery stuff. I'm just trying to give you guys some additional resources that you can take advantage of that are there for you. Okay, you guys are welcome to come attend those. I'd be happy to have you, and then you just have to listen to me more. So, all right, guys. Well, it looks like that's it. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that again. We will see you guys next week. Hopefully after the updates are up. Next week we'll have some case study stuff to talk about. So we'll see. Hopefully keep your fingers crossed. Say a prayer if you're into that sort of thing, and we'll see you guys next week. All right. Thanks for being here.